If you can become a great shooter, you can become great at anything in your life. And clap when I clap. If I don't clap, don't clap. You ready? Clap. You thought you got me, but you didn't get me. Clap. Okay, stop. Clap now. Okay, clap twice. Not any. One. Good. Don't just roll the dice and hope that you end up a confident person. Do these things. Shooters dip. Dip creates power. Dip creates rhythm. Dip gets buckets. Know what you're going to do before you show up at the gym. We're going to give you the framework for great workouts. I want you to learn how to watch film of great shooters and film of yourself, but film don't lie. Most people don't ever get it. They go through their entire lives like a robot, being told what to do and only doing enough to get by. Being a great shooter requires doing more than is expected. And once you develop that habit in shooting, it will translate to every other aspect of your life. And you will be blown away at the ease of success after you do the difficult work of becoming great at something. It's not what, it's how you do it. And that's what you're going to learn in this course. I'm Tyler Costin. Welcome to the Shooting College. I love it. Hey, so everybody that's dialing in, and we have hundreds in live today, you're in for a treat. These are three of just my favorite guys, great basketball minds, unbelievable coaches, unbelievable players. I would be hanging out with them if none of you were here because I want to get better. So we're excited just to have a free-flowing conversation and drop some knowledge on you. And we're going to get to a lot of your questions today because this group of guys is in particularly skilled and ready to answer your questions. So drop your questions in as we go through this today as well. And if you ever want to hit any of the archived episodes of The Peak, just go to pgcpeak.com. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm excited, and Edward LeBlanc, you're going to kick us off right away here with your answer to this question. It's one of the most common ones that I'm getting from players. Coach, I'm missing my shot short. What do I do? What would you have them do?
Man, there's a lot to this. There's probably no one answer, but I think a great place to start is conditioning. I know Adam and Graham are going to give a lot to this other areas as well, but I think the first one is conditioning. As soon as your legs go, your touch goes, your strength goes. So legs, just being in good shape is probably the first thing that allows you to consistently.
You know, that's good. And I want to dig in on that one a little bit, Edward. So, all right. So I believe you. All right. I'm a shooter. I'm like, I just work on my shooting more, conditioning. So how would you say someone should work on that? Should they go run lines? Like, should they go do like long distance running? Like, how would you get someone to get their conditioning up for shooting?
Yeah, well, the first way to do it is by shooting at real speed, shooting at the speed that you're going to need to have it when it counts in games. And then there's obviously cross strength things you can do, whether it be running. Swimming's a great one since it's non-impact, cuts down on soreness. Most basketball players don't like to just run a bunch unless, it involves a basketball. So I would say, yeah, any kind of cross training you can do. Swimming's a great one for it. And then also just practicing at the speed you need in short intervals, quick burst, the way the game's played. So train for what you need.
I like that. So to put a bow on it, you're missing short because you're not in good enough shape and you need to train at game speed. Because when you shoot at game speed, that's why you're missing short. All right, Adam Turner, what's your take on this? I'm missing short. What do I do?
Yeah, so I just add on to what Ed said. I have so many guys who play for me in college who the number one thing they do to work on their shot is they just go rep 500 shots every day. And that's great, but I'm not sure you're going to get good conditioning shooting doing that. So I would say less shots in certain workouts, right? But more running in between, more, sprinting spot to spot. So that's just to kind of add on to Ed's. So mine is this. I think Klay Thompson described his shot as a reverse waterfall, which is saying it starts at his toes and it doesn't stop until the ball leaves his fingertips. And I think something I see, especially in young players that I've worked with, is their shot stops somewhere on that journey, fingertips. And to really maximize power, we have to generate power from the floor and really not stop that power until the ball leaves our hands. And so some coaches call it a hitch in their shot, call it a two motion shot at our shooting college. But really, you're going to miss short more often if you're stopping your shot anywhere in your shot and then having to regenerate the power. It's going to be harder to consistently shoot from distance.
Adam, that's really good. So what percentage of players, in fact, go ahead and unfreeze the chat box right now, Kyle. If you struggle, if your most common miss is missing short, just go ahead and type I in the chat box right now. If your most common miss is short. Yeah, and that's why we're talking about this one, because that is the most common miss. So Adam, when you see players that are missing short, what's one thing you would give them as like a training tip or a training tool other than like, don't stop? You know what I mean? Like, how would you actually get them to flow with their shot more or have less hitches?
Yeah, I think a lot of it starts for me in the paint, like going into the paint and practicing a shot. And I think we do a great job at shooting college. It's one of my favorite things that we do is not doing touch shooting by bringing your shot up here, stopping it, and then going out. And that's the most common way to do like paint shooting or touch shooting is to start the ball up in the platter and then go up. But start your ball somewhere down below, whether it's two hands, starting the ball here and just feeling that flow from toes and the bend in your legs all the way up through your shot, not stopping. But I think building it from the paint out, because it's going to be really hard to build those habits if you're just working free throw line out.
Yeah, that's a really, really important point. Players like, oh, coach, I'm missing my shot short. I'm missing my shot short. And they're going to the 3-point line to start their workout. Of course you're missing it short. I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot before you even get started. Graham Maxwell, who is the second best shooter that I know. Graham, why do you see most people missing their shot short?
Yeah, just to add on to what Adam and Ed said, it's really good stuff. It's not going to be as good as this, though, just the competitor in me. I actually have talked to a ton of athletes, especially now. This is a common question that I've gotten is, hey, I don't have a goal outside my house. You know, I don't have a goal. They're taking the goals down. I can't go to my school. And so I'm practicing by laying on the floor and shooting the ball out. And not to say that that's the end of the world, but most of the players I see, the reason they miss short is because they shoot the ball out instead of shooting it up. So I'm shooting the ball out in front of me instead of up. And it's really easy for me to notice because my goal and my dream was to play in college, and my shot wouldn't have been good enough or fast enough if I didn't make an adjustment in high school to take it from shooting out to start to shoot it up. And the one tangible way, you know, Tyler, we can train that right now. We can use this as an opportunity. I can't go out, you know, to the back. I can't go shoot. So what can I do? Do exactly what I'm doing right now. You're sitting in a chair and for some of us, but I would practice shooting it up where my elbow is about eye level or my elbow finishes above my eye. That's how I know I'm shooting it up instead of out. And so if I never get the ball above the rim, I'm going to miss it short.
Yeah, that's really good. All right, I'm not going to go as in-depth as you guys, probably because you're better teachers. I'm just going to throw out 3 things, and you guys can push back and tell me where I'm crazy, because one of these 3 you guys are going to hate. So here's the first thing. You actually need to get the ball above your eyes before you extend your legs. So I actually have you to go and record on the slow-mo record on your phone of you shooting a couple shots. Just set it beneath the goal or have someone record you and then watch it back and just go frame by frame. And the most common error I see with players, especially the ones that miss short, is they've already extended their legs. Your legs will have fired before the ball gets up above your eyes, before the bottom of your arm gets parallel to the floor. That means you spent your power, and so your shot's going to be short. If you can get the ball up above your eyes before your legs have fired, then you're not going to miss as many shots short. And that's a tool you can use today when you leave this call to go and videotape yourself. Adam, tell me where I'm wrong there. Push back, fight me on that.
Yeah, I can't really push back because I totally agree. And I think it really plays into the reverse waterfall. Like, I think that is a really good cue for you to know whether or not you're getting your shot to a certain point at a certain time in that reverse waterfall. So I think it's a good cue to use.
I like that. I'm just using negotiating tactics to try to get agreement first before I go with the crazy one third, and Edward tells me where I'm wrong because I know Edward's going to hate my third one. Here's my second one. Graham can argue with me on this one if he wants. Finish your shot. Like, we've all heard freeze your follow through. That's one thing, but nearly every time a player is missing consistently short, we all see it. It's because they're not finishing their shot. It's not even so much that like they're not freezing their finish. It's that they're not being firm and aggressive through the ball. Like finish your shot all the way through the ball to the rim. When people fall off it and especially get really soft with their arm is when shots miss short. So finish your shot all the way through the ball. Graham, tell me where I'm wrong or what you like about that one.
So does that mean I'm not supposed to follow my shot after I shoot it?
You tell about that, Graham. I'm excited.
Yeah. You can't finish your shot and follow your shot at the same time. Focus on your shot.
Yeah, so all you parents that are screaming, follow your shot, Timmy, just turn to your parents and say, shut up, mom and dad. No, actually, just have them watch this episode so that they can encourage you to do the right things. You should not follow your shot after a shot from the perimeter because you're probably going to miss shots. If you're always following your shot, it's because you always miss. If you always miss, it might be because you're always following your shot. Man, Graham, that was good. Okay, here's the third one. Edward, you're definitely going to disagree with this one. I'm excited. Here it is. Watch the ball. So if you're, yeah, I knew you'd like that one. So if you're missing short, I would encourage you after release to relax your eyes and watch the ball. And I recently changed on this one, so I'm excited for Edward to tell me why he disagrees on this one. I have found that most players have no real awareness of what their arc actually looks like. They've been told by coaches, like, get mark on your shot. Yeah, coach, yeah. But we're so locked in on the rim that we don't actually understand the flight of our ball. And so I've actually switched. I think we need to have a quiet eye on the rim from catch to release, but after release, actually follow the ball because I think it gives you more feedback to actually get a little bit more arc on it. I'm excited for Edward to tell me where I'm wrong there.
So this should be a peak episode next week where you and I just argue about this, just the whole episode.
I wait.
Yeah, so but I think to train that to be your habit just for the purpose of learning the flight of the ball is probably going to be detrimental in the long term. I think kids can learn the fly of their ball by just videoing themselves shoot, having someone record themselves shoot so they can watch the fly of the ball in other areas. I think the why for that is I think most players won't have the discipline to finish their shot before they start to look. I think the trap door there is very, very thin to turn over. And I think you're going to create more problems than you're trying to fix by doing that.
I like that. And as always, you sounded much smarter than me. Adam, weigh in on this. Where would you land on that one?
Steph Curry follows the ball with his eyes, so it can't be all bad.
He also shoots from half court after a P dribble, but
For sure. But I think just in terms of fundamentals, I think this is one, when I grew up, it was like square both feet up to the hoop. And if you're not doing that, then you're wrong. Right. And I do think some shooters probably should shoot more square. That probably is how they're going to find alignment down the line. Right. I think other shooters need to be more offline. And I think it's the same thing with this. I find a lot of shooters just on my team, when we do shooting, especially with the new guys, we're like, who's a ball watcher and who's not? And I've found there's no correlation to being a ball watcher and being a good or bad shooter. It's like we have bad shooters who are ball watchers and we have elite shooters on our team who are ball watchers. A lot of it's about what you've repped and kind of what works for you. And I think it's a feel thing.
That's good. All right, Graham, I'm excited to hear you weigh in on this one. And then we're going to launch our first poll.
I've always been a guy, like Adam said, growing up, you're taught one way. I've always been a guy, you stare at the rim, you stare at the rung on the front of the rim or on the back of the rim. So I've always been that guy. But recently, within the past year, I have opened the door to, I'm not there yet, but I am learning and I'm open to it. So here's my answer. Maybe. I like it.
So here it is. We're going to get our first poll here. So there's 10 players that you're working with. Everyone's going to give their number. There's 10 players that you're working with. If you would have all 10 of them, no matter what, follow the ball with their eyes, you would say 10. If you would have one of them follow the ball with their eyes, you're going to say 1, or anywhere along that spectrum, because I think we're at different places on this spectrum here. So just a number, no justification. I'm going 10. I'm going all 10, ball with your eyes. Edward, where are you going?
5.
5. Where are you going, Adam?
3.
Where are you going, Graham?
2.
Beautiful. We'll go reverse order. Graham, you'll go first on this next one as far as what is the one shooting technique tip to help players make more shots that you would give. We'll go Graham, Adam, and Edward here.
I'm passionate about this one. You have to train quicker. You got to train quicker. One of the reasons why I think people miss so many shots in games is they just train too slowly. That in their mind, there's no one closing on them. There's no defense. And so you just have to shoot the ball more quickly. And the way you do that is competitive shooting drills. put yourself on a time. How many shots do you make in a certain amount of time? And then with that, your shot will start to speed up. But you got to compete when you practice, even if it's by yourself. Therefore, you'll compete in the game. But people shoot too slowly in a game. There's live defense. Practice, there's not. Shoot quicker.
That's good. Adam, what's yours?
I'm gonna go really applicable to right now. A lot of athletes out there that don't have baskets, like Graham talked about, and I think something that is really good to do. I also agree, Graham. If you do floor shots or laying down shots, I think it can kind of potentially create some bad. But I like chair shots, right? Alignment's pretty close to where it is. Sitting there watching TV, right? Work on, I think, really two things with this. I think there's two really big benefits. I think one, you can actually strengthen a lot of the shooting muscles in your arm, which are really weird muscles. You can't lift a lot of wing muscles. So I think just doing 50 straight, your arm will start to burn, right? And you can work on, if you have the room and space, actually shooting it out a little bit, letting it bounce and spin back to you, right? Or even just shooting it up and catching it. And then the second benefit, and what you're really going to focus on, is how the ball hand and creating a consistent follow through. Because I think what a lot of, especially young players, struggle with is they don't shoot the same shot every single time. And a lot of that has to do with how it's coming off of their fingers, whether it's coming off their thumb, their ring finger, or they're following through one direction or the other time and time again. You want to create consistency. And however you shoot, I think can be fine, right? We've seen Reggie Miller shoot the way he shoots and Larry Bird shoot the way he shoots. You can shoot your way fine. It just has to be the same way every single time.
That's good, Edward.
Yeah, so I think everyone really needs to hear what Graham said about the speed. I think that's probably the biggest common linchpin for everyone. And for me, I call it with players I work with game gets, meaning how do you get that shot in a game? So players, for instance, you will go out and you will shoot a lot of shots from the wing, and that's great. And I think you do need some static shots to work out your technique and your mechanics and just kind of get some confidence just shooting that shot. But after that, how are you getting that shot? So people don't miss shots from the wing because they haven't shot enough shots from the wing. They miss it because they haven't come off a staggered screen or come off an on-ball screen or ran 60 feet in transition and had a step into. How do you get the shot from that spot in a game? So if you can work on your game gets at speed, like Graham's talking about, with some form of competition or weight to your shot, now you're shooting game shots at game speed with game pressure. And that's where you can really close the gap between being a practice shooter and a game shooter. So game gets.
I like that, Edward. Let me ask you this. At what point in a shooter's journey, because we got players here from 4th grade through pros, right? At what point in their journey should they move from just like stationary, learn how to shoot and make shots, to game gets?
Yeah, as soon as you learn how to shoot the shots you're learning, go to game speed and then go to game gets. So if I'm a younger player, I may not have the range, but I can shoot from 6 feet. And I think the progression should be this. You should learn it physically, meaning, okay, I've been taught, so now I'm going to take my body through it. I'm going to learn how to shoot this shot, whether it be off the dribble, off the catch, whatever it is. And then I'm going to spend some time just kind of riding the bike with it, right? Just getting used to it. Just, okay. And then once I get that, then I go to what Graham's talking about. I add some speed, and then a whole new set of problems come in, right? My balance goes off, man, my form, this. Spend some time at speed, and as soon as you spend some time at speed, spend some time at game gets, and then spend some time competing.
That's good. All right, Graham, here we go. Before I do mine, you're going to do the number I exercise with the entire group. And so, Graham, go ahead and lead him through it. Kyle, unfreeze the chat box. Don't put anything in the chat box yet. Wait till Graham leads you through it. Then you'll put Graham, go ahead and lead them through the two ways that they can put their numbers in the chat box.
Is this the exercise you were talking about yesterday with the head down?
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to put, as soon as I say go, you're going to have your hand on the keyboard. As soon as I say go, you're going to write down the number that I'm holding up. Recently saw this interview with our key 5 coaches, and Phil Beckner is Damian Lillard's coach. And it's just talking about why you need to see where you're shooting the ball, miss the most. And so what I'm going to do is no one can look. And this is on just a trust honor system here. So your head's down, but your hands can be on the keyboard. As soon as I say go, you're going to look up, and you're attempting to be the first person to type in the number into the keyboard. All right. So everyone.
So we're looking down right now, and we don't.
You're looking down. Eyes are closed. Your eyes are closed. You're looking down.
Got it.
Eyes are closed. Looking down. Ready. Go. All right.
I want to try. Can we try again?
Oh, we're trying again. We're doing it again. All right. Everybody's heads down again. You're right. This is always the tough one. Heads down, Adam. No cheating. Okay. Go. 4. Nice. All right. Now, here's what I want you to do really quickly. You're not looking down anymore. You're just looking straight at me. And this one should be a little bit quicker. So as soon as you see me hold the number up, you're going to type that into the box. All right. So looking straight directly into the camera. Ready?
Oh, bucket.
Bucket. We'll do one more. Ready?
I thought I got that one. I got Kyle, freeze the chat box. We got to see who actually got the one here. The
Kyle, can
winner.
you go check that? Kyle, run that back. Run the replay.
I'm scrolling right now. Oh, come on. Was a lot of ones. Okay, wait, hang on. We got to give a shout out to the actual person that got the first one. Brooklyn Marshall beat me, and then Robbie Bostain. Oh, man.
I think Brooklyn's internet speed is just a little faster than mine.
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
that's what it is. That's what it is.
Brooklyn. I'm also just happy I beat Adam. Okay, so here's my point. Here's my point. So I do have one here, I promise. The number one way for you to make more shots today is to get your eyes on your target sooner. That's it. Just get your eyes on it. We call that at our PGC shooting colleges a quiet eye. Most people will make more shots if they can get a small, specific, narrow target the moment their fingertips touch leather. A lot of people actually go into their shooting motion before they acquire their target. And there's a lot of things that can interfere with you making shots in real games, like defense, like pressure, like speed. And what this interference actually does is it interferes with your vision. And we all saw that if we're looking down to gather the ball, if we're looking down to get our hands on the ball, if we're looking at a defender, and then we have to acquire our target, like we had to acquire Graham's number, it's going to take us a lot longer to be able to process what we're actually looking at. But if you can train your eye target before you even start your shot, especially off the dribble, you're going to make more shots. So just by focusing on your eye training, I guarantee within a week, if you just focus on eyes, not technique, you're going to make 4 to 5% more of your shots just by focusing on your eyes. I think that's what you can do right now. So let's go ahead and just do a quick recap, a one sentence or one word recap of the one tool that we gave them, and then we'll launch a poll. Again, which tool, this isn't who you agree with, it's which one you're going to use when you're shooting today. Graham, what was yours again?
Practice in your training shooting more quickly.
Quickly, speed, good. Adam.
Get reps on your couch. Work on your release while you're watching TV, while you're binging Netflix. Work on your release.
Good stuff. Edward.
Game gets. Adam's totally going to win. He's letting them watch Netflix while they shoot. That's
Game gets. Gosh, this is gold. And we're going to go through a couple of quick hitter fun ones. Here it is. We're going to go Adam, Edward, Graham. Who is, if you're starting an NBA team today, what player are you starting with? If you have an NBA team today, what player are you starting with? Adam.
Yeah, I tried to be fancy thinking about this one, and I can't be. It's Giannis, and it's really the only answer. I mean, he took a Bucks team this year with one kind of borderline all-star and good players and good roster makeup, but they were on pace to, almost reach this 2016 Warriors 73 win mark. And it's him. Like, you watch them and it's him. Like, his impact as a leader, his impact as an actor has been amazing. And if I just project that out over what the next 10 years of his career is going to look like, he reminds me of LeBron at that age. And I would have loved to have taken LeBron at 25 and had what we had with LeBron over the last decade. So I'm going to take Giannis.
Okay. None of the three of us can take Giannis now. So Edward, who are you taking? And I can't wait to tell you why you're wrong, Adam.
Yeah, I was really hoping he would take Amari Stoudemire with better handles. Can't shoot. I am obviously going to go Luka.
What I was saying is he did. He took Amari Stoudemire that can dribble. That's what he's saying Adam did.
Yeah, correct. I am obviously going to go Luka Doncic. I can't believe he fell to me at 2. A lot of reasons. One is he can play every position.
Sacramento King is one reason why he fell to 2, but
he can play every position, and with this game and trending more positionless as we go, it's there. And also, so often in free agency, it's like who fits with who. Everyone fits with Luka. He's extremely well coached. He plays both ends of the floor. He's young. He's healthy. For me, it's a no-brainer, Luka Doncic.
I like it. Graham Maxwell.
I try to get fancy as well, Adam, and I thought about Giannis, and I actually don't think this is going to be a popular choice, but I'm not even a huge fan of this guy, but I have to say LeBron. I gotta say LeBron. He's still arguably the best on the planet, and I don't see. Obviously, he's getting a little bit older, but he takes care of his body better than anybody, and he's still got some longevity left in him, and I think he's setting his team up for success in the future. So I gotta say LeBron, and he's LeBron. I shouldn't have even described it why I chose him.
I like it. Well, my answer is the obvious one. And it's the only right one, and it's Steph Curry. And there's 3 reasons why. It's really simple. Number one, Steph Curry sells tickets. Okay, everyone's going to come watch Steph Curry, and we're going to be in business and making money while Milwaukee is no one's buying tickets in Milwaukee, and LeBron is just cheering his son on the sideline, and Luka Doncic, retired because too much European, partying. So it's obviously going to be Steph Curry, as well as shooting ages. Athleticism doesn't, shooting ages, as well as Steph, the only player that has revolutionized the entire game of basketball in the last 5 years. He's the one that created the current environment we live in. All right, go ahead. Everyone's tell me why I'm wrong.
All right, so Tyler's team is going to sell a lot of tickets.
Yes.
Ed's guy plays 1.5 sides of the court, and Graham's got a chance for maybe 2 more titles, but LeBron's running his barbershop show. I feel good about this.
Yeah. And you're still breaking it up unless Giannis watched this call and he stops missing the shot short place. All right, let's hit some Q&As. That's fun. I'm gonna throw these to you guys really quick. I know. All right, here it is. Buster Brown. Shout out Buster Brown, strong name. Edward, he's missing shots left. What's he got to do?
He's missing shots left. Balance.
Yeah.
Balance, and back to Adam's reverse waterfall. Probably something in his flow.
Absolutely. And I like how you kept that short. Let's keep these short. The best shooters never miss left or right. They just miss short or long. So if you're missing left or right, you have a bigger problem than if you're missing short or long. All right. Let's go ahead and go Adam with this one. And so if you don't have perfect form, but you're still making shots, should you change?
Absolutely not. Never. If you make shots, and when I say if you're making 40% practice shots, you're not making shots, right? You can make 60, I don't know how old you are, 60%, 70% of your practice shots. Don't change. Small tweaks over big overhauls.
I like it. Graham, 7th and 8th graders, do you recommend fixing their form or just getting reps?
Fixing their form. That's actually the prime age, I would say, to fix their form. Scoot in, don't worry about shooting so many long shots. Scoot in, don't worry about so many people shooting threes. Scoot in, fix your form.
That's good. All right, going back this one. Should your follow through be with your index finger, middle finger, like index to thumb, all your finger? What should I do with my fingers on my follow through?
You should just shoot the basketball. If the basketball is just resting in your hand, your follow through, the ball's going to take care of itself. Gravity will do the rest, and it should come off somewhere between your tallest finger and your index finger. So I guess it'd be your middle finger and your index finger should come off right in here.
I got it. I like that. And gosh, we could talk about that for a long time. Adam, how do I get better rotation?
One, rotation's overrated. There are low rotation shooters who are really, really good shooters. Watch Larry Bird shot. And there are high rotation shooters, Steph Curry, who are really good shooters. So I think be more obsessed with how does your ball actually rotate, right? Is it panel over panel? You have sideways spin, right? If you have panel over panel rotation, I wouldn't worry about rotations per minute, right? I would worry about making sure it's consistent.
Edward and Adam and Graham have gotten to talk basketball with a lot of you. In fact, 3 back-to-back one-on-one training and mentorship calls with your players. And as I talk to players about this, as I talk to you guys about this, I just love what I'm hearing. Players are getting better. They're being challenged. They're being pushed. Our trainers are loving the opportunity to get to coach players at this time, and we're all trying to figure out how we get better at this time. So maybe, Edward, share in just 1 or 2 sentences, what's been probably the most beneficial you think that you've been able to do in your one-on-ones?
I think the probably main takeaway from most of the players is just their ability to be honest with themselves for the first time without fear of consequence from a coach or fear of judgment from a teammate. just being honest about the work they're doing, how their season was, what they could do better, and how to make next year the year they've always wanted it to be. And then we just start from an honest place. So I think just their kind of freedom.
That's really good. Graham, what's one thing that you've really enjoyed being able to work with players on in your one-on-one so far?
Yeah, my favorite thing is getting them to write down their dreams and goals and not just aimlessly going outside and just getting up a bunch of shots and hope that they achieve their goals, but actually putting together a plan specifically for that player and in order for them to achieve the things that they really want to achieve next year. So that's been the most fun.
That's awesome. And Adam, how about you?
Yeah, I think the excitement of, it's really first calls for everybody right now, but the excitement of kind of like the spark of the first time a lot of young athletes are putting together a really intentional plan. I think a lot of young athletes have the aspiration and inspiration. They don't know what to do. And I have just loved being a part of them figuring out what to do. And it's cool to see so many people want to do more. So yeah, it's just been that plan, putting together that plan and teaching them what to do.
That's awesome. This is an amazing opportunity. I love spending time around these guys and all of our trainers. And it's an awesome opportunity that you have to be able to get with a world-class teacher and expert to hold you accountable. And I love the players that are taking advantage of it. You can go to pgcathome.com if you want to jump on the team with one of our trainers. Producer Kyle, you can start to roll that music. I'm going to get you out of here one at a time with a celebration. And please feel free to unfreeze the chat box, Kyle. And you can share celebrations of Edward and what he gave us on this call. But Edward, I get you out of here, man. I celebrate you for your basketball mind. I love debating with you. It's making you better. You love the game, and I love talking basketball. Thanks so much for coming.
Appreciate it. All right, fellas. Love y'all. See you.
Hey, my friend. Graham Maxwell, I love your sense of humor. I love how genuine you are, and I love how you honestly listen to other people's opinions instead of just waiting to share your own. That's why I love talking to you, man. So I appreciate your time today. Thanks for being on.
All right, appreciate you guys. Love you. I'm out.
Adam Turner, I hate guarding you in the post, but I love how much you love to compete. I love how much you love to make people better, and I love how you love to talk the game and just give back with all the knowledge that you've earned. So thanks for spending time with us today, my friend.
Appreciate you guys.